Where would you like to sit? Are you comfortable there? You sure? Sure. Brothers who are at the back, please come closer. And let's leave the snacks for a little later, because after the event, we will have the main food and all those things. So please leave the snacks at the back and please come closer. We can have the lectures. They're very short, by the way. I'm going to be taking a few minutes, maybe less than half an hour. So then the main guest will speak. We're not trying to make the lecture very long. We're trying to make it very comfortable and productive. So please, brothers, come closer. Zabiola, can you get a cushion for the Sheikh? Let him lean against the wall. He's going to get tired. Get a cushion for Sheikh. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قال سبحانه وتعالى وأن ليس للإنسان إلا ما سعى صدق الله المولان العظيم وقال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم الخير عادة أو كما قاله النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. All praises to our Lord, and peace and blessings be upon Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, the final messenger. The most powerful reminder, lecture, speech, motivational speaker, whatever it may be, why we are intrigued, because they motivate us. Or when we use the word moving speech, it moved the crowd or it stirred the crowd. So what is implied there is that people are affected enough by the words that they're able to move in the right direction. Anything less than that is just sensory overload, where I'm listening to so much, but I'm not really getting affected. We can simply call it a lot of noise. So if I sit here, for example, and I make a lot of noise on the mic, it will be a lot of noise I made. I said a few words, I said a few things, but is it going to affect us? And that is where today's lecture is going towards, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in His blessed book and in the example of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the Sahaba has given us enough information and inspiration and guidance to show us that we're actually supposed to move in an amazing direction and make amazing growth in our lives. Otherwise, people that are in power, they love it when people feel helpless. When people feel helpless, anybody who is in power, he's happy with that, because like, oh, they don't know how much power they have. So our focus should be, how much power has Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala given me that I can make this decision? So we mentioned the Sahaba. Let's go to one of their examples. Bilal radiallahu anhu is a slave from a different color, different background, in an Arab country, Saudi Arabia, pre-Hidayah, pre-Islam's times. A lot of ignorance, a lot of hatred and racism. He doesn't have a social rank. He's not a big shot. He's a weak person. The Prophet ﷺ calls towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Bilal is not a powerful person in the community. How is he going to make a big change? But he doesn't get fooled by all this. He knows he's a human. He knows he has a Lord. And he has Iman. So the three things that are connecting and making him powerful is he knows he has a Lord. He is a full, complete human, regardless of his color and his rank. And he has Iman in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So when those three ingredients go together, it makes a person very powerful, because who is he connecting with? He's getting his power from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the more a person is connected to his Lord, the more power he has. That's why a Nabi, any Nabi, why are they so powerful of people? They usually are poor people. Let's get that straight. Most prophets are poor people. And once they become officially the prophet, they lose a lot of fans. They lose a lot of lovers and friends and colleagues. So the two things that they needed was a lot of money and power. They lose most of that when they become the Nabi. So how come a Nabi is able to move forward and achieve so much? Because they're connected to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we need to think about that, think about it in that way, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I'm trying to connect with Him. If I connect with Him, I have so much. Let me give you one very basic example, the electrical extension cord, or whatever, the electrical outlet. When I have a tiny little light, obviously I'm putting a battery into my light, I'm trying to get some light. But once I connect to the main circuit, I have infinite amount of electricity now. First, I was playing around with a little battery in a flashlight. I have minimum light. But once I connected to the main source of electricity, now I can have light. Look at our lights above our heads. It's continuous light. Why? Because it's connected. Now, our question to ourselves would be, am I connected? Or am I a disconnected appliance? Or am I a disconnected appliance that's not making any moves, it's not making any benefit to the people around? So that is the first ingredient in our enabling, in empowering ourselves, is connect with your Lord. And I hate to say this, it's not a very flashy process. It's you just sitting down, doing some basic zikr, but that basic zikr is very powerful. Sitting down, saying Subhanallah, 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 Allahu Akbar, Astaghfirullah, Astaghfirullah. That is a very powerful process. It's a very, very powerful process. It's just that as a community, we don't know how powerful it is, so nobody taps into it. Nobody taps into it, but we should know that if a person is doing his zikr, he's connected. How can you mess with him? He talks to his Lord. He talks to his Lord. He's very connected. So that is something that we have to convince ourselves. So if you are sitting here thinking, what should I do? What is he trying to tell me here? So what I'm saying is we need to find a time in our daily life, time to do dhikr. Just there's no other way around it. We have to sit down and do dhikr. And in case you don't know this dhikr is the only worship in the religion where we are asked to be extremely in it. Dhikran kathira. The word kathir is not often used in the religion because a believer will take it too seriously and go too far in it. So salat, we pray a lot of salat, but are there times when it's makruh to pray a salat? Yes. At sunset, at sunrise, we minimize our salat, right? But dhikr, there's no minimizing. It just, you continuously do dhikr. So let's find a way to do dhikr and also avoid distractions. Our phones are ultimate distractions. For example, I made an intention to do 5 minute dhikr, but if my phone vibrates, am I going to finish the 5 minute dhikr? No, I'm not. My phone vibrated. It's done. And I want to put a disclaimer in here for the dhikr part of it. Dhikr doesn't mean do anything religious. Many of us, when we want to be religious, we say, oh, let me watch a video. I want to be religious, I'm feeling Islamic, let me watch some videos. That's not the highest level of Iman or the highest level of religiousness. Because usually, as soon as we click on a video, what do? We go to the comment section. You're already distracted, you went towards humans. The Shaykh was speaking, you clicked on a video, but then you went, and it's finished. Now you're back to talking again. Now you're focused on comment section. Oh, what did he say? What did he say? What did he say? Oh, what did she say? Now it's a she. Now you're looking at the she. You forgot the lecture. Now you're looking. Oh, let me click on her. Bro, you finished. Your lecture is gone. All that Allah, Rasul, that's gone. You are not in a religious world now. You clicked on a religious video. Now you're in the comment section. Forget it. That was done. Pray janazah over your religious moment is gone. It's finished. You tried to be religious. You clicked on a video. Now 1 second you're trying to be religious, but now it's finished. It's done. Because you went to the comment section. Goodbye. It's done. That's why we have to find the basic way to do dhikr. Just sit down and do some zikr. And by the way, you will feel very, very scared to sit alone. Why? Because as a Muslim, we have fear of Allah. We all have an amazing amount of fear of Allah. And as soon as we try to be religious, there's this powerful feeling coming down and saying, bro, you're a very bad Muslim. So the first time I sit down to do zikr, there's this heavy feeling coming down like, oh, you're a bad Muslim. You haven't done salat. You missed some salat. You missed some Quran. You've been looking at haram things. So that the very heavy feeling, you have to get comfortable with that. That is a good feeling. I know it feels really, really bad. Is that mentioned in the Quran? That feeling, that heavy feeling like, oh, I'm a bad Muslim? Yes, it's mentioned at the highest levels in the Quran. Allah uses that emotion as a qasam, as a foundation for qasam. When nafsil lawama, Allah says, I swear by the blaming soul. What do we call that feeling? The blame feeling, like, oh, I'm a bad Muslim. That's a powerful feeling. It's called nafsul lawama, the very blaming soul. It's like your soul starts talking to you, oh, you're a bad person, you're a bad person, you're a terrible Muslim, you're a terrible Muslim. It's very uncomfortable, yes. But we have to get used to that feeling. That's how we're going to make it to Jannah, inshallah. That very sad feeling like, oh, astaghfirullah, you're a bad Muslim. Contain yourself. Sit down and be like, it's okay, I'm a bad Muslim. Let me just sit down for a few more minutes. I know it feels terrible, but I'm just going to sit down and focus on those emotions. And once you face your demons, your inner demons, we realize, no, I can do some tawbah. Allah will forgive me. I can do some istighfar. So that is the first thing, is we connect with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The other thing is, has Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala given a person control in his life? Because if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to make it to high levels, He has to allow us to make it that far. So now the question is, does destiny, taqdeer, qismat, qadr, are these things weighing us down or they're not? Just last night, somebody said, Sheikh, I have a co-worker, he's asking this question, are we tied down by destiny, by qismat? When we see a religious person, we say, hey man, you're so lucky. You got lucky, you're so religious. He's not lucky, he worked hard. He's not lucky, he worked hard. Many, many times we've mistaken it. We say, oh yeah, that friend of mine, he got lucky, he became so religious. No, bro, he worked on it. He worked so hard to become religious. So we cannot use the destiny excuse to become irreligious. We need to stop using destiny as some type of a monster that takes me to Jahannam. There is no destiny pulling us to Jahannam. How the ulama simplify it, they explain it like this. They say, imagine a mother that made a few meals, but she knows her children really well. So she has a son or a daughter, she made 3 foods, and she says, oh yeah, my daughter, she'll definitely eat this one. And my son, he'll definitely eat this because he loves this food. Now somebody might say, oh, is she forcing them? No, she's not forcing them. She has ilm. She has knowledge of what her children's desires are. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows our desires, we call that like qadr. He knows which way we're going. But He's not forcing us. He's not forcing us to do bad things. He just knows which way we're going to go. So for example, the mother made a pizza and made some soup, and she's going to say, oh yeah, my son loves the pizza part. Nobody's going to say the mother forced the child to eat the pizza. They said, no, she gave him the choice. He went towards the pizza. So we need to understand destiny is not destroying us. Taqdeer, qismat, destiny is not destroying us. It's just there. And if you go a little more deeper into it, it does get complicated. When we go deeper into it, it does get a little complicated. That's why we're not asked to delve into it. Just leave it. The Sahaba used to ask, are we going towards a goal that's already tightly fixed, or is it a loose goal? And Nabi Sallallahu said, no, kullun muyassarun lima khuliqa lahu kama qala, that leave it, don't overthink it. Every one of you will be assisted for whatever he was made for. Everyone will be assisted and helped for the things that he was made for. So for example, you made intention to be here. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made it easier for you. So let's not use that thought like, am I meant to be released? Am I meant to be a sinner? Let's not do that. And the irony is, when it comes to career, school, and money, all of us feel so powerful. This is the problem, the sad part. When it comes to money, all of us are in control. I know exactly what I'm doing in my career. And how focused are we on careers? We're asking children, what do you want to be? Every time you meet a poor child, he has to answer that hard question, what do you want to be? Stop asking that question, it's annoying. Kids hate it, and I'm telling you they hate it. And it's really hard, it's unnerving, because the kid's brain is so malleable, it's so forming. In grade 1, he wants to be a firefighter. In grade 2, he wants to be an astronaut. In grade 3, he wants to go to NHL. In grade 4, he wants to be a streamer. Grade 5, he wants to be a hafiz. Grade 6, he wants to be a police. Like, come on, leave them alone. They don't even know what they're doing. So let's not always force the child to pick a career because we're kind of binding them. Leave the kid, let him, you can play around, ask them what's your strength, what's your favorite subject. But asking hard questions, it's very hard. Let's leave it. Let them focus on it. Once they get to middle school and high school and they have favorite subjects, then they can start picking their courses in high school and so on, so they can reach towards their final destination. And remember, if you are into the career world, they tell you every few years the careers are changing, and by the time the child finishes school, there'll be so many different new jobs that don't even exist today. They say we're educating a generation for jobs that we don't even know they exist. They'll be existing in the future because they're just jobs that the world is changing so fast. So let's let them focus. So when it comes to money, for some reason, we all are in control. I'll go to work on time. I'll go to school on time. My projects have to be hidden, at least for the hardworking students. But the lazy students, they're already failing at this stage even. So the achievers, they're at least good at school. So they'll be working very hard on career. We have those kids who are not even trying in school because they're They're already failing at this stage. So we have to step it up and ask ourselves, I can't be doing this. I got to focus and achieve my goals. Otherwise, sitting around is not going to get us anywhere. So when it comes to career and studies, let's focus and have achievements. And by the way, when you become religious, you will see a big change in your school marks. Last night we were having our Thursday dars, and I brought up my own high school days, and we had a good laugh for those who were here. And I mentioned a story where in grade 10 or grade 9, I was less focused in school, but I started becoming more religious in grade 10 and 11. And I saw a big change in my marks. 30, 40, 50% change. And the teacher said, what happened? Last time you took this course, you had a very low mark. This year you have such a high mark. And I didn't know how to tell the old lady that I'm going to da'wah and I do a lot of da'wah. Now my marks are going higher. I didn't know how to explain it to her. I'm like, I just tried hard. Otherwise, I was supposed to tell her I went in Jamaat. And that's why I have high marks. So religion honestly helps you with your school also. Absolutely. If I'm not mistaken, the Imam read a very powerful ayat that those who subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah makes them forget their own lives. Or they'll be forgotten in the hereafter also. So there's an amazing relationship when we start focusing on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He makes it easy for us to focus on ourselves, because He appreciates it when we pray our salat or whatever worship. So Allah returns our favor and asks, it makes it easy for us to focus more on ourselves also. So if you're neglecting yourself, do a little bit of extra worship, suddenly you'll take care of yourself more. When it comes to relationships, something very strange happens, and it's mentioned in the hadith as a prophecy, that as we get closer to Qiyamah, people will be more engaged with their friends, but they'll be distant from their own parents. And this is something very, very painful to parents. People are very distant from their own parents. If you're a teenager, you're a little moody or whatever, that's fine. Everybody has that stage. But in general, if you have no connection with your mom and dad, that's a problem. You can be moody, we can have a fight over school marks or whatever, but in general, there's supposed to be an amazing amount of love. And here I'll turn some of the blame on the parents. Those who are old parents, who are parented old school style, your style is no good. So please work on your style also, on your parenting style. Just yesterday or today, no, last night, I'm on the elevator. There's a very desi parent. He has a little child. You won't believe, it was kind of sad. He goes to this 4-year-old child. He goes, hey, say salam, because he saw me with the religious clothing. And the kid is like, hi. It's a little child. And he goes, hey, idiot, say salam. And I was like, oh my God. He called the poor kid an idiot for no reason. Because the father felt embarrassed that the kid didn't say salam, he said hi. So he made that a big deal. And we don't need to do that. If your kid is going to public school and he says hi, it's fine. The first day he comes to the masjid and he says hi, it's fine, relax. He didn't leave the religion. He just said hi. He's not a kafir. He's a Muslim still. No, seriously, these people, they go. And the other thing is, many little kids, they're holding their dad's hand and the dad says, say salam. And the kid goes like this with the left hand. And the dad goes, hey, right hand. I'm like, bro, he's 3, relax. The kid's hand is stuck with his baba, so he does this with the left hand. And the parents get angry. Hey, right hand, astaghfirullah, sunnah. I'm like, he doesn't even know me, he's scared of me. Just because I'm an imam, you know me, your kids don't know me. Why are you forcing them to say salam to me? Kids are very intelligent. The first day they come to the mosque, many of your kids will not say salam to anybody. I hope that the people that have young children, you're listening. When you bring your son and daughter to the masjid, do not ask them, say salam. It's the first day. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given them wisdom To think your child is downloading, your child will do this when they come to the mosque, they just look at everybody like this. Because kids are smart, they're just looking like who's dangerous, who's a good brother, who's a weirdo. Kids are looking. And when they realize, oh, there's a lot of good brothers here, then the second and third day your child will be confident, then you can say, please, salam, and the kid will say, assalamu alaikum. But on the first day you take your child to the masjid, hold their hand, say salam. And the kid is scared. He's scared of the new mosque. It looks different. He's in a new building, and you're forcing them to say salam. It's not helping. We're scaring our kids away. And then we're so scared that the imam or somebody's going to judge us because the kid said hi, he didn't say salam. It doesn't matter. We're not going to judge you, brother. We're not going to judge your child if he said hi. So let's learn to parent very nicely. In case you're interested in this topic, I'll mention one more tip, then we'll carry on. That is attachment parenting style. Attachment parenting style is where you show so much love and affection to your child, they get attached to you, they automatically listen to you. You give them so much love and respect that the child starts listening to you without even you forcing them. We think it's important to take your child and make them listen to a lecture on the rights of parents. The kids don't need that. They don't need a long lecture. We just give them love, they'll listen to us. So let's take some of the blame as parents. Be kinder, be more softer, more gentle. And when we talk to our kids, get off your phone. We can't be looking at our phone and talking to the kids is disrespectful. So let's focus on our kids. They will return the favor. They will give us love, inshallah. So you're not helpless in your friendships or your parents' connection. And even if you have silly friends, you can work on the relationship. You can help your friend grow to be a nicer person. If you have a friendship in your circle, a silly friend, you can work on them. You can remind them, oh, that's not nice. Sometimes tell them this is not nice. And your friends will listen. They'll say, yeah, my behavior was bad. Eventually they'll listen, inshallah. So this is the other part in my personal life when it comes to religion. Even in religion, there is different things we can do for the religion. Some are more fashionable, more trendy, more cool, and some things are not. Da'wah, watching videos, that's more fun. But focusing on basic foundational knowledge, salat, dua, surah, memorizing, the last 20, 30 surah should be memorized. That's our real focus. That should be where our focus goes. And you know what happens, unfortunately, when we have a class for Quran and we offer it to adults don't come. I'm indirectly complaining to you brothers about your behavior. Whenever we have adult Quran classes, very few people come. But if we have a nice lecture like this, more people would come because this is a little more fun. This is more fun. The Quran class is not that much fun, but we have to realize whatever is less fun is more important. So if there's a Quran class, I would be amazed if you came to it, because that would mean you're focused on the basics. Quran reading, salat, fiqh, how to make sure your salat is fine, how to read the at-tahiyyat properly. Many of us will have at-tahiyyat problems. We say, I get confused in at-tahiyyat, it's so confusing. Or the dua qunut, I'm not even going to try that. Allahumma inna nasta'inuka wa nastaghfiruka. I don't know what the success rate is going to be if we try right now. Ask everybody to read the dua qunut. It's going to be a sad show. I'm telling you. Dua qunut is the easiest way to fail someone. Ask them to read dua qunut. They're going to start falling all over the place. And then is the gym time. Right now we're living in a time when everybody's so focused on gym. Some people are very lazy, the two extremes, but when it comes to gym, some people are so good at gym, but salat, forget it. But the gym, every day. And they'll tell you, oh Shaykh, I haven't been to the gym for 5 days. You're like, what, 5 days is a lot for the gym? Maybe you're busy with salat, with ibadah, with parents, maybe your grandparents are old. Maybe your grandparents are old, maybe you're serving them. So if you miss gym for 5-6 days, it's not going to kill you, it's fine. For some reason, showing off with our body is such a big deal. So the two extremes are no good. Some of us are too lazy. We don't go for a walk even. We don't go for a walk even because that's too much work. And then people who will not skip a gym session. So let's try our best to take care of our health. Walking is the easiest way to start your life in exercising. Do not go to the gym. If you're starting a new life, a healthy life, go for a walk, 1 hour. Put a winter jacket on, put some gloves on, go for half an hour, 1 hour walk after Isha. Easy. Forget the gym, forget everything. Just put a jacket on, go half an hour walk. You'll feel so healthy and so happy. And if you can take a friend with you, you'll be laughing on the way back. You'll be giggling because walking helps us emotionally and mentally too. So that's done. When it comes to personal growth, let's focus. We have a lot to improve things. When it comes to community, it's the same thing. Things that are more fun, bigger events, it's easier to come. There's more faces to see. When it comes to grassroots work, we all disappear. If we're cleaning the masjid, salats, fiqh lessons, we all disappear because we're like, oh, it's too much work. Who's going to do all that? Forget everybody. You need to focus on yourself. And now I'll mention the most powerful reminder in today's lecture. That is the Sahabi that is famously known, Mus'ab bin Umair. Mus'ab bin Umair, we need to study his life. He's that Sahabi who was financially really well. But as soon as he became Muslim, his mother and father stopped spending money on him. So he lost all his cool clothing. His perfumes, his colognes were known in the city. Every time he walked before Islam, you can tell after a few minutes, like, yo, bro, Musa must have walked here. It smells amazing in here. Any sidewalk, any place he walked, you can tell because his parents used to import special colognes for him, perfumes for him. As he became Muslim, they took all his expensive clothing away, gave him a bed sheet and said, this is your life. Carry on now if you want to do this. Gave him a piece of cloth and said, here you go. You're trying to be religious. We don't accept our religion. But he didn't care. He kept pushing. One day, Nabi Sallam saw him and he started crying. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, because he knew how much this young man has sacrificed for the religion. So how is he special? Let me give you the reason why I see him as an extremely special Sahabi. He started learning the religion by himself with the Prophet and whatever. He started learning a lot of the religion. Guess what happened? Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam used him as the main teacher when Islam started moving to Medina Munawwara. When the Sahaba were starting to make intentions to move to the main headquarters for the Muslims forever, Medina Munawwara, they needed somebody powerful, very intellectually smart to go and start the grassroots efforts in Medina. They picked Mus'ab bin Umair. And he was known as Mu'allim. Mu'allim, that was his title in Medina Munawwara, Mu'allim. And he did a lot of work, and he's the one that made a lot of reverts in Medina Munawwara. A lot of people to the religion, and when the Sahaba and the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam came, there was a beautiful thing going on already in Medina Munawwara. So what does that mean, everyone? What does that mean now? That means all the religion that grew from Medina Munawwara, a good portion will go to Mus'ab bin Umair. That means Mus'ab bin Umair, he's an untouchable. He might be a billionaire in the hereafter because he did grassroots work. He made maybe 20 Muslims, but those 20 Muslims eventually became 200,000 Muslims after that 1,000 years. So in that 1,000 years, 1,500 years, 20 Muslims might have became millions of Muslims, and he gets all the rewards for them. So that's how we have to think as Muslims. If I am a good person, I pray salat at work. Those of us who are not praying salat at work, think about it. If you start praying salat, inshallah, maybe 2-3 more people will pray salat. And it might change their lives. And you'll get all the ajr because you started praying salat at work first. I know it's very hard, very embarrassing or whatever. Take that first step. And you'll see a lot of people will tell you later, bro, because of you I started praying salat. Then he'll tell you, mashallah, my life changed at home because of the salat. It was a perfect timing. I was changing. And when you started praying salat at work, I became more religious and I have a better home life now because I started praying salat because of you. So sometimes your small action could be a trickle effect in many people's lives. And then you'll realize how powerful your decision was. How powerful your decision was, you'll never know. But once you put the effort in, then you'll see, subhanAllah, I made amazing progress, and other people grew also, and that came down to my first initial step that I took. I'm going to finish it off dedicating something to 25 years ago. I went in Jamaat. I started going in Jamaat because I didn't know what tabligh is and so on. So I started going in da'wah. And you guess who took me? This man's father. This man, his father took me in Jamaat. My family, we didn't have any sheikhs. We didn't have any hafizin in our family. His Baba took me. We went to Montreal for 2 weeks in Jamaat. And I came back. I started changing. I'm like, you know what? I got to learn the religion now. And then it affected me more and more and more. And then I went after high school. I started studying Islam and eventually finished Islamic studies. It all started from one brother taking me and giving me da'wah. So that's how life works. Less focus. We don't know how much we might be missing out on in life. So if we can focus, make the right decisions, we'll be amazed how much Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us and how much himmah, how much power He has given us. And the ayat that we recited in the beginning was, a human will have nothing except what he works for. Alaysa lil insani illa ma sa'a. A human has nothing except what he worked for. So may Allah give us tawfiq. Jazakumullah khair.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والعافية للمتقين. والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. طه ما أنزلنا عليك القرآن لتشقى إلا تذكرة لمن يخشى.